Taking care of business.
Board
Sorry.
Member Lear, Chair Lear.
Yes, we have
on
three.
licensing.
We have three items. All right, we've pared ours down considerably. Item 14.2, it's a request from American Leadership Academy for continuation of a waiver from R277-419-4. It's been in place for a couple of years, just requesting that it continue. The committee moves that the board approve the request from ALA for a continuation of a waiver from the 180-day requirement in R277-419-4.
Okay, the motion before the board is that the board approve the request from American Leadership Academy for a continuation of a waiver from the 180-day requirement in R277-419-4. Discussion to the motion. Seeing none, let's vote. Member Belknap,
Aye.
vote member Bolter,
Aye.
member Cannon,
No.
member Cummins,
Aye.
member Davis,
Aye.
member Earl,
Aye.
member Gravitt,
Aye.
member Hanson,
Aye.
member Huntsman's aye, member Lear,
Aye.
member Marsh,
Aye.
member Thorpe.
Aye.
Did I miss anybody?
Mike is an aye.
What was that? Who was that? Mike Haynes?
Yes. You skipped me.
Okay, I knew I missed one. Sorry. Vote. Okay, motion passes. We have to one nay. Okay, please continue, Chair Lear.
This is item 14.5, R277-306, educator preparation programs for school psychologists, audiologists, speech language pathologists, speech language technicians, counselors, and social workers, and it's an amendment. The motion for the board that we've discussed this for several months. We've had a hearing on it. I think we finally developed it to its fullest extent. The motion for the board is that the committee moves that the board approve R277-306, draft 2, education preparation programs for et cetera, on second and final reading.
Okay, the motion before the board is that the board approve R277-306, draft 2, educator preparation programs for school psychologists, audiologists, speech language pathologists, speech language technicians, counselors, and social workers on second and final reading. Discussion to the motion. Seeing none. Oh, board member Belknap.
Thank you. I have a question. Exactly what does this mean to a speech pathologist who is teaching right now, who has not gone through a specific program?
And I don't know who that's directed to, but it's probably appropriate for Angie.
Sure.
Is Angie available? Deputy.
Here.
Yeah, okay, there she is. Okay.
Yes.
State your name and that for everybody.
Yeah, Angie Stallings, Deputy Superintendent of Policy. Nothing changes for speech language technician the program attendee. The program requirements actually changed a couple of months ago when we passed the original version of this rule. The new changes to this rule only impact school social workers. Was that a question, Board Member Belknap? I apologize.
Do you have a
It's
follow-up?
fine.
Okay, the motion before the board is that the board approve R277-306, draft 2, educator preparation programs for school psychologists, audiologists, speech language pathologists, speech language technicians, counselors, and social workers on second and final reading. We're going to vote on this. Member Belknap.
Aye.
Is that nine? Okay, Member Bolter,
Aye.
Member Cannon,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cummins.
Aye.
Member Davis,
Aye.
Member Earl,
Aye.
Member Gravitt,
Aye.
Member Henson,
Aye.
Member Haynes,
Aye.
Member Huntsman's and I. Member Lear,
Aye.
Member Marsh,
Aye.
Member Thorpe.
Aye.
Voting is unanimous. Motion carries. Please continue. Wasn't there one more?
The last item is item 14.9, R277-613, LEA student behavior, bullying, cyberbullying, hazing, retaliation, and abusive conduct policies and training. And this is draft 6. And the motion for the board is that the committee moves that the board approve R277-613 LEA policies and training regarding bullying, cyberbullying, hazing, retaliation, and abusive conduct draft 6 on second and final reading. Can I just add something to the motion, Chair?
You bet.
We had a number
Okay,
of
let me
comments.
restate. Okay, let me state the motion and
Please.
then I'll have you dive on, okay? Okay, the motion before the board is that the board approve R277-613 LEA policies and training regarding bullying, cyberbullying, hazing, retaliation, and abusive conduct draft 6 on second and final reading. Speak to the motion. Well, any questions or comments? Board Member Lear.
I just wanted to note that we had a number of concerned and thoughtful email messages on this, especially regarding the short amendment that the committee agreed to at the very end of the meeting. That board member Earl proposed had to do with the fact that freedom of speech is also a factor and would be discussed as a process or discussion, and that the comments on the email comments that I received were concerned that this would somehow detract from the message of anti-bullying. And the committee discussed that, felt that they would not, they would merely add information because, of course, free speech still cannot be bullying in a classroom or a school setting. But it would only clarify that information for those students or others who might wonder how free speech interacted with anti-bullying concerns. And so, though it's my personal druthers to hear from some of those folks in person, that may not be even possible for a month or 2 months. So it was our decision to go forward with this as proposed by the board. And I support the motion from the committee, and I'm sorry, it's proposed by the committee. But I would also invite any listening folks who emailed me or other board members to please contact board staff or me, and we'll talk about the amendment that was added, and like to hear your concerns. And if that's possible at a later date, we'll do that also. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And before I restate the motion, Board Member Earl, did you have a comment or question?
Yes, I just want to agree with what Carol said. I've received a couple of emails. Anything that's obscene, inflammatory, or any communication along that lines is not protected under the First Amendment. There seemed to be some question as to whether it was or not, and I think that this is a good balance as to what's taking place here. So I just wanted to agree with that.
Okay, before I call this, I just want to recognize the committee and the public and all those that weighed into this. This is draft 6. A lot of good input. You know, it's a good betterment moving forward. It's progress, and I say this often. There's progress, and then there's perfection, and I think a lot of work has gone into this, and there may be better work we can do in the future. But I just want to thank all those stakeholders and all those that have weighed in. It's a very important rule. So I'm not seeing any other questions or comments, so I'm going to restate the motion and then we'll vote. The motion before the board is that we approve R277-613 LEA policies and training regarding bullying, cyberbullying, hazing, retaliation, and abusive conduct, draft 6 on second and final reading. We will take this to a vote. Member Belknap,
Aye.
Member Bolter,
Aye.
Member Cannon,
Aye.
Vice Chair Cummins, Member Davis, Member Davis,
Sorry. Aye.
Member Earl. Oh,
Aye.
was that an aye? Okay, thank you. Member Earl,
Aye.
Member Gravitt,
Aye.
Member Hanson,
Aye.
Member Huntsman's an aye. Member Lear,
Aye.
Member Marsh,
Aye.
Member Thorpe. I missed one.
Yes.
Did I get, okay, Member Thorpe.
Aye.
Haynes.
Member Haynes, did I get you?
No, I'm an I.
Dang, how am I missing that? I apologize. I've got a little checklist here and I'm gonna have to do a little better. But I know a short one.
Are you calling me
I'm gonna put a star. If you had a forehead, I'd put this star on there so I would not forget you. Voting is unanimous. This will move forward. Thank you. Does that conclude your report, Chair Lear? Yes. I got it.
Yes, thank you.